Could we see so much control, so much control, that we could possibly see martial law here in America? We think it won't happen, but there may be some proof of what we should look for when it comes to martial law and how they maneuver towards it. And to be honest with you, I think we're already seeing signs of that. Then what do? How can we get away from it, or how can we protect ourselves? Today's video is going to be a good one. We're going to discuss ways that we're seeing martial law actually happen, and it's right in front of our eyes, and no one is really talking about this. Freedom is slowly slipping away, all because people want control. Let's jump into a good video today, guys. I hope this opens your eyes, and hopefully we can gain wisdom from it. Today's video starts right now. As you hear on the farm, it is a beautiful morning. You hear the roosters. They will not shut up because we have so many, and we're actually sitting kind of close to where they're usually at. So thank you again for being here. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, but tell us what you think about this video. If you're new to the Max, go down here and say, I am new, in the comments. If you're one of the people that's been here for a long time, let us know, because it does mean a lot that you've stuck with us for this long. Has our content helped you? Has it not helped you? Give some feedback there, and hopefully we will continue making a better channel. So let's jump into the video. Signs of martial law. Now, martial law could be kind of scary because ultimately it allows the power of the government to get stronger against the people. And a lot of times it's sold as, well, it will be there to help the people that are law-abiding and basically handle the situation of chaos or crisis that's going on. Now, necessarily, was martial law or was any situation of law set up to be bad? No, it wasn't. However, because men and our stupid ways, our selfish ambitions, our control elements, we decide to control other people. And so therefore we see a more intrusive government, we see more surveillance, we see more issues that go along with martial law. So what are some ways that we've seen proof that martial law is maneuvering closer to our freedoms and our America that we know today? And if we don't do something about it, if we don't open our eyes to it, it's going to show itself even more to where it becomes more tyrannical. So let's jump into some signs of martial law that's already happening. Number one, what have we seen in our inner cities, in our metropolitan areas? Well, we've seen a heavier form of crime and drugs. What does crime and drugs do? Those cities tend to kind of be laxed on policies. Even though they try to act tough, they kind of hold the hand of the police. So what happens? More crime is committed. So then we see what? Curfews. We've seen curfews when it comes to cities saying, oh, we want to keep you safe, so you need to be in by this time. Oh, if you're in this area, we need to keep you safe, so get off the streets. It's not a good time. That curfew is meant to help you, but ultimately it's just a form of control. What happens during hurricanes and during major storms? They say, well, we have a curfew. We need to be in by this time. It's meant to be good, but ultimately it's just a form of control, because we just say, okay, yeah, absolutely, we want to be inside because we don't want to be stricken with crime. We don't want to be in that area when it becomes bad. We don't want that storm to cause us issues. So we're seeing more curfews. Our town, just our local small little town in South Mississippi, we've seen some crime in certain areas. Now, our area of crime and our talk of crime is nothing like most cities, but there was the thought in this small little Mississippi town of, should we put curfews on certain days, on school nights, to try to keep kids in? So those curfews are slow and steady. They come a little at a time because they're meant to help you. Well, the bottom line is, the more that we adhere to curfews, the more, when it becomes a serious issue and more tyrannical views and more controlling views, is it really there to help us? So number one, curfews, we're seeing more of that. Limited times where you can be out, we're seeing more of that. Number two, with the cities, another point with the liberal states. What are they doing with your self-defense items? Slowly but surely, you're not allowed to get those permits to carry. You may not can carry a firearm. You may not need this firearm, or you may not need this many rounds because it causes crime. More criminals get them. So they're pushing as, well, it's taking care of us, it's keeping us safe by not having, you know, self-defense mechanisms or weapons on the streets. Truth be told, most of those areas where they have criminalized owning weapons have higher crime and murder rates. Why? Because we've taken all of them away, and the ones who are legally getting guns are going to still illegally get firearms and other weapons. So self-defense tools are slowly being taken away. We see policies by these three-letter agencies that are taking away certain stocks, certain bracing, certain styles of ammunition and firearms. All the while, it's not slowing down maybe the cartels, it's not slowing down the illegal activity with firearms, it's slowing the way that you can legally buy these things. So the confiscation of weapons or firearms is becoming more rampant and is happening more and more, especially in our big cities where there's more crime going on, like we just talked about, especially in some of the liberal areas. So I would challenge you to get out of those states if you can. If you can migrate out, migrate out. If you want to stay there, you better have some good policies set intact, and you better be an excellent prepper and homesteader to be able to face some of the issues that you may see when it comes to martial law. More control means more tyrannical style government. Tyrannical style government turns around and means martial law is very possible. Number 3, this is a big one. It's surveillance, and we are allowing it to happen. We carry our phones around everywhere we go. We have our location settings on, we're opening all the social media, we're going and we're finding everything we want. All the while we give every aspect of our phone, every aspect of our apps, every aspect of all our social media, every aspect of who we are, we just basically give it away. And so therefore we're being surveilled digitally all the time. And then all of a sudden, if you look in a lot of cities, again, going into bigger areas, you're starting to see more cameras being used. You're starting to see more satellites being used. To be honest with you, if I looked up right here in the sky, it's amazing that we have the technology in our world that they probably can look at me and see this red, white, and blue hat, and they may not like it. That's how technologically advanced we are. Well, that means more surveillance will come on. Do you actually believe that you can hide anything anymore? Truthfully, I don't know if we even can. I don't even know if we can hide a lot of things that we try to hide or try to prep for or try to have bug out for or bug in for. Truthfully, I don't know anymore. But if we don't see the value of holding our politicians and our deep state more accountable, you're going to see more surveillance happen. Now, not only are we worried about our surveillance, we're worried about other countries. So when other countries cause those same issues, what does it do? It tells our government, well, look, we don't want them doing that. So we're going to make sure that we're going to be watching closer so they won't view and surveil us. Well, that means that they may be surveilling us more. Things like some of the policies set Republican presidents and Democrat presidents. It's been said that they want more surveillance, more homeland security. All the while, we want that to be a good thing, but it's led by sometimes bad people. So therefore, more of homeland security may mean more surveillance on Americans. That could be a major sign of martial law. Number 4, it's amazing how good we are at pushing globalist agenda wants. And while we're pushing that, we're causing more problems for Americans. So we're pushing medicine, we're pushing food, we're pushing all these things to be done overseas. We're pushing our fuel away, so we're losing independence. So when we become dependent on other countries to provide our medicine, other countries to provide our food, other countries to provide all the things that we need to necessarily live our lives, what happens? It makes it where the government or the players, the big players, have control of everything that's coming into our shores off the seas. So they control what gets to us and what doesn't. Well, the bad thing about that is the more that they control the medicine, the more that they control the food, the more that they control every good that we have, the more they can say, well, if this is not good for you, we're going to confiscate it. This is not something that you need. Or, no, you don't need that much beef. So we're gonna slow down the beef coming in, or we're going to charge exponential amounts on it. No, we have got to vaccinate these chickens. So therefore, we are going to see a chicken shortage. You don't need to eat chicken. But however, we have this Beyond Meat that is excellent for you. It's safe, it's plant-based, and it's like eating lettuce, but it's chicken. They can take every aspect of our life and start maybe manipulating or confiscating or controlling. If we're in bad needs of medicine, what are we willing to do? We're willing to do just about anything to get it. What we saw with this last sickness, we were willing to drive our cars, go in a line for hours upon hours for a shot that we didn't know nothing about, and we were willing to let them inject us and put it in our body and hope for the best because we trusted them. Now, should we be able to trust our government? We should be. But I'm scared that history has shown us probably for the last, maybe 10, 15 years that can we honestly trust our government? Sadly, I don't know anymore. I preach self-sufficiency. I preach sustainability. I preach spiritually being awakened and seeing that our only trust can be in the Lord. So if we see the powers that be control the food, the energy, the medicine, then therefore we're seeing a form of tyrannical government which allows for martial law to be instilled. Look at the countries right now, things like people like South Africa, Sri Lanka, even some of the other countries that are in turmoil. You're seeing more government kind of overstep some of its populace in the name of, well, we've got to take care of everything and we've got to control what's going on. All the while, they're the problems and they started the problem in the first place. Well, now all of a sudden, well, we've got to control the problem. The problem is they're the problem and they now are trying to be the solution. It's good how they can spin that, huh? Number 5, which should be right in front of you as we speak. We talk about cover-ups, we talk about censorships, we talk about media. If they control what you hear and see, such as this video, if they control every aspect of your information, that means they can get you to believe anything. We believe that 1 mask was okay. We believe no masks were okay. Then we believe 2 masks or 3 masks were okay. Till this day, it's been proven that's not okay, but then there's still people wearing it because they knew how to control the information. Look at what's going on right now. Monster cover-up and censorship on certain issues that happened a few Januaries ago. We are in this now. We are in all these things. Everything that I just told you, we are literally seeing day in and day out in America. Now, what can we do about it? How can we fix this problem? How can we get better leadership? How can we be more sustainable? How can we trust the government again? Well, first of all, again, spiritually, I believe that we are fallen and we need a spiritual awakening. We need more revivals in our nation. That is a for sure thing. That's the only way that we're actually going to save America. But if we don't start seeing that, we've got to get so fed up with some of the leadership that we have, some of these rhinos and some of these liberals who want to control us more just so they can fatten their pockets. They want to tell us what they want us to believe, and all the while they're actually just controlling us more. Don't be so led astray. Do I believe that McCarthy is the answer for Speaker of the House? No, but I do believe he did a good thing because he had some people chat back at him and say, you will not be Speaker unless you do these things. And all of a sudden now we have the tapes released and we're seeing truth. Don't matter if you believe it or not, don't listen to what they're telling you about the video, watch the videos. Do you know the persecution that some of the Americans have taken because of this? They've not been proven innocent or guilty, they've just been assumed guilty, so therefore they've been more persecuted. Their families have been persecuted. Sometimes their attorneys couldn't see them. Is that what we want? Is that freedom? No. So the more that we see that happen, we have to wake up. I'm glad to see Twitter and places like that open up a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying everything that you see or hear you can believe. That's what happens when we talk about discernment and wisdom. When we build wisdom and we build discernment, then we can see through the crap and the trash to see truth. And when we see truth, then we can wake up. All the things, all our whole channel mostly is about sustainability, prepping, and homesteading. You need to be doing those things in some form or fashion. But if you're not, wake up and start figuring out what freedom looks like. Because if you don't see the control element, the tyrannical style government that we're starting to push towards, because remember, we were American standing alone. Well, now we want to be like all these other countries. We want to be globalists. We want to have a different view. Do you realize that's kind of what we went away from when we became America? Why do we want to go back to it? Your kids, your grandkids need to understand where we're at learn history so they can be better for the future. They're not learning a lot of the things that we should be learning, so they don't understand the value of freedom. They're being indoctrinated. So the importance is this: we have to teach the other generations. We have to seek a spiritual awakening. We have to find better leadership, and all the while be looking for these things to happen. And hopefully when you see this stuff start happening, you better prep better, hide more, do all you can, and be as wide awake and wide-eyed as possible so you can seek wisdom and discernment to find out what's best for you and your family. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you think this is a good video, please share it with your friends. We need to wake up. We need to see a stronger America again, because right now we're not seeing a stronger America. We're seeing more deception, more tyrannical views of things, and now we're going to see more forms of martial law and surveillance that we should not be seeing in America. But it takes you waking up and doing more, me waking up and doing more, praying as much as we can, seeking Christ, but ultimately trying to find wisdom. Guys, thank you again for watching. God bless. Happy homestead, y'all.